I'm going to tell you guys about the time that my sister left me at the bus stop in the pouring rain. But first, take a look at this. For comparison, it's raining right now and this is nothing. It was pouring. Now, I wasn't feeling well at school. I don't remember what it was. I might have been sick to my stomach. I think I was a sophomore at the time. I just remember really thinking like, I just wait till I get home. Like, I'm not gonna go to the clinic. I'm gonna wait till I get home. Just survive till you get home. That was my thinking. So I got on the bus. It was drizzling, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. But I lived pretty far out from the school, like in the middle of nowhere in the estates, near ranches, near forests. So by the time they dropped me off at my bus stop, it was a full-on like thunderstorm. I had no umbrella, no cell phone. All I had was an iPad at the time. And usually when I get out of my bus, my sister's sitting there in the white car ready to pick me up. But I didn't see the white car that day. So I kind of hesitated at the last step of the bus stop because I was literally about to walk out into the literal ocean. That's how wet it was. I honestly didn't know what to do. So I just stepped off. My house is like a 30-minute walk. I can't walk there. Okay, this is part 2 to being left in a thunderstorm story. Once I stepped off the bus, I looked around to make sure my sister hadn't parked in some other place that I hadn't seen. So once the bus pulled away and it was confirmed my sister was not there, I needed to move. I was already so cold and wet. I could feel like literally the water seeping through my pants. My backpack's not waterproof. My stuff is in there. Binders, notebooks, all of it. So I thought to myself, Joe, you have 3 options. First option, you can go hide in the forest, which I immediately dismissed because no, I was not going to do that. Look more wet in there. 2, you can literally just walk home. Or 3, you can just stand here waiting for your sister to come eventually. I chose 2. But guys, when I tell you that this was one of the worst storms. The wind was so strong. I literally couldn't even breathe. I was sucking in water. I was shivering from the cold and I was so wet. My underwear was wet at this point, guys. I couldn't do it. I ran to the first house and hid underneath their garage. I have no idea who they were. Hopefully they were cool with that, but there was nobody home from what I could tell. And I kind of just stood there for a while. I was drenched. And then finally I saw something. Follow for part 3. Remember that book I was writing? Yeah, still writing it. I just need some help. First of all, I'm trying to write a character who is probably undiagnosed with schizophrenia. He's extremely gullible but confident. I need a name for such character. I want him to be like super distracted, like some severe ADHD, yeah. Please help me come up with a name that is fitting for a character as such. I want them to be extremely likable, dresses however they want, bit of a maniac, in a good way. All right, let me know. You guys, this is the reason why I never wore big dresses to school. Let me set the scene for you. 4th grade Joe, 9 years old, super perky and happy to be wearing a giant dress to school. You know, I don't know why I was. Maybe we had just gotten it. I was super excited about it. It was like a Wednesday. I was probably like, Mom, I want to wear this dress. And since I was mainly tomboyish my entire life, she was probably like, yes, wear it. So I took it to school. It made playtime a little complicated, but that's fine. Recess was fine. I was one of those kids who liked to roll around in the dirt, climb trees, all that jazz. And I'm like, it's just a dress. It'll be fine. So it's time for like nutrition class. I don't know. They're trying to teach us about like pyramids and like food groups. My teacher starts looking at me funny. And then she kind of just says to the entire class, Jozadak? And I'm like, is it Jozadak? Can you come with me outside for a second? I'm like, yeah, sure. 4th grade me just comes with her outside. And when we're outside, she closes the door. And I'm like, huh. She slowly takes off her shoe. I was like, oh, look for part 2. Okay, part 2. I honestly didn't expect to make 2 parts out of this. So my teacher was looking at me like so intensely while she was taking off her shoe. And I was so confused. Miss whatever your name is, because I don't remember. What are you doing? And she goes, don't move. And I start panicking. But I do what she says. Like, she gets her shoe, she holds it up to here. And then she throws it at me. And I literally jumped. She hit me in the bottom half of my dress. The shoe went flying. You know what else went flying? Right next to her shoe was the giantest spider I have ever seen in my life. I think it was a tarantula, which would have been fine because tarantulas are pretty much harmless. But at the time, both her and I were freaking out. She literally knocked the spider out. Her aim was so good. I'm actually amazed right now. She's like, oh my God, I saw that on your dress when you came in and I had to get it off. I was like, thank you. Yeah, I had no idea that was on there. So I retired that dress. No more dresses to school, not for Joe. Thanks for watching, Yo te amo. I'm gonna tell you guys the story of how I was kicked out of my Spanish class on the first week of school. Okay, so I don't know if all schools do this, but in my school you had to take a foreign language class to graduate. And me, being the fluent Spanish speaker that I already am, decided to take Spanish. Not because it was easy, although that was part of it. I was already taking AP, ACE, and honors in all of my other classes. So I honestly just wanted a super easy class that I didn't have to think about. You know, no stress. And I could get that requirement out of the way. So picture this. It's the first day of school, I walk into class. Fate would have it that my very best friend from 8th grade was also in this class. When I saw her, we immediately started freaking out. Shout out to Emery. And she was so happy that I was gonna be helping her with her Spanish work and everything else. My Spanish teacher wasn't too happy about that. In fact, she asked me and 2 other girls who looked like me what we were doing there. And I honestly didn't know how to answer. I was kind of like, class, Spanish requirement, class. She said this would be way too easy for me. And you know what? She was right. Imagine trying to learn hello and how are you in a language you already know. But that was the point. That was the point, you know? I came in on Friday again, the first week of school, and she had a surprise for us. Look, this is part 2 on how I was kicked out of my Spanish class. And it was only the first week of school. So it was Friday and I walked in. I expected to hang out with my friend and learn how to say bien y tú. But instead, my teacher took me and 2 other students, separated us from the rest of the class, and made us take a Spanish 2 final exam. It was the first week of school! How dare she? My friend was like, oh my god, please fail it, please fail it, please fail it. The point of the test, I guess, was to prove that we knew Spanish and we didn't belong in our class. But I'm an overachiever! Guys, I don't fail tests. Do you remember the part about me taking AP, ACE, and honors classes? I don't take those classes because I fail tests. I took the test. It wasn't my best work. I definitely could have done better, but I ended up with a B. My teacher was like, just as I suspected. She handed me a hall pass and said, go to the guidance counselor. You need to switch out of this class. And I was like, ah! As I grabbed my backpack and slowly walked away as everybody else worked on their hellos, I got to look at my friend and kindly wave. Then I went down to the guidance counselor, who said practically every other class was full. They ended up having to put me in culinary, which is specifically for sophomore. I was a freshman, the youngest person in that class. I'm going to tell you guys about the time I let my entire 4th grade class down. You think I'm exaggerating? You know, I stay up at night and I cringe at this. It's just, why did I do this? Honestly, I guarantee you none of them care. None of them remember. But I remember. It's honestly not even that big a deal. But it is to me. Okay, let's get into it. Picture this. Little 4th grade Joe excited to be going to school because it's December. And what does December mean? Christmas parties. That's one of the things that I miss about elementary school. All of the fun holiday parties. When I become a high school teacher, I promise to bring back the parties. Anyway, my teacher announced we were having a Christmas party. Everyone's like, yay! Okay, but we need people to bring snacks. She let kids volunteer what kind of snacks they could bring. Some kids said they could bring chips. Some kids said they could bring cookies. But there were no drinks. And then I suggested, what if we have hot chocolate? Everyone's like, yeah! My teacher's like, that's a great idea, Joe Zadak. Are you able to bring that? Yeah, I can bring hot chocolate. My entire class cheering. She was like, okay. Follow for part 2. Okay, so this is part 2 of me letting my class down in 4th grade. So you already know I was assigned the hot chocolate. Super excited, super happy. I had such a big job, big responsibility. And I can't stress this enough, I was the only one bringing the hot chocolate. So when I got home, I asked my mother, Ma, where's the hot chocolate? She goes, right there. So I grab it, and my little dumb said, this isn't good enough. It was the powdered hot chocolate. You know, the ones that come in the can? And I wanted the packets with the marshmallows. So I got really upset. This isn't the hot chocolate. This isn't the one I'd promised I'd bring. Go! And in my brain, I rationalized that if I couldn't bring the best hot chocolate, then I wouldn't bring any at all. I ended up bringing Chips Ahoy. But that's not the worst part. I walked in, my teacher had prepared a bunch of hot water in cups. It was this giant machine filled with boiling hot water, and she was stirring it. She looks at me walk in and go, hey, did you bring the hot chocolate? No, but I brought cookies. Joe! Quick game, if you speak Spanish, please don't say anything. Try to guess this Disney song just by listening to the melody. I'm gonna sing a song in Spanish, and you're gonna try to guess what it is. Don't look at the comments. Here we go. Es el punto que está hacia el mar, me llama, y yo que sé cuán lejos es, y si el viento en mi veladera acompañarme, un día sabré, y si voy ignora, aunque tan lejos voy. Did you guess? Check the comments to see if you're right. Follow for more.